Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Provocative Podcast. All right, guys, so first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love from last week's episode. Please send me a DM if you guys are feeling the episode. It honestly means so much to me when you girls reach out and are like, hey, I really liked your episode, or I really enjoyed what you said about this and this. Like, I don't know, last week I feel like I wasn't as confident when I left the recording studio because, I don't know, I feel like it was a lot of like opinions of my opinions versus like given like, you know, a clear message as to what I was trying to say. But I hope you guys got it. And from what you guys DM me, you guys actually really enjoyed the episode too. So I'm really grateful for that. And honestly, like, thank you so much for all you girls who reached out and said like, please don't ever change. Like, I like that. You know, you are who you are. It really made me feel really good about myself, and I really appreciate that. So just thank you for all the support, honestly. It means so much to me. We did a giveaway. I announced the giveaway yesterday, so keep on the lookout with the Provocative. I'm going to be doing big giveaways on the Provocative page. So I think the next one I want to do is the Dyson whole set. So I'm telling you, I'm going to be doing really big giveaways. So make sure you guys stay, relevant on the Provocative Instagram page. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for last week's episode. Two, I haven't started reading any new books. Well, I started reading one about the subconscious mind. I can't think of the title, but I just started reading it. So I don't have like, I don't know if it's good or bad, but from what I posted on my story, a lot of girls like it. So I'm going to read it a little bit, and hopefully I can read some this week so I can give you guys an update next week. But please send me any book recommendations, like fun book recommendations, because I'm in the need of a new one. Our book club is in need of a new one. But right now, I've just been spending my time with like work, but any other time I've been actually watching The Ultimatum Show on Netflix. My friend told me to watch it, and I'm not big into the drama shows. I don't really like them. I've told you guys before. I know there's a new season of Selling Sunset. I can't get into that. I can't do bitchy people. No. But this show, it's not that it's good. It's just kind of like, it's a whatever watch, but it sucks in the sense that people are really going through hard shit like in their relationships, and like you get little snippets of how people react when they're put in intense situations and when they're having arguments. And I've been able to like pinpoint some things that come off as a red flag for me and that I do sometimes. Like, there's a girl, Shanique, and I love her, but when she's having these arguments, I feel like I related to her in some sense with how I react. And so I told Chris today, I was like, I really hope that I'm not like this, but I can see myself when I do get upset that, you know, I try to like do little jabs because I want to be heard. And just seeing her do that made it seem so like, So I was like, I don't want to be that kind of person. So it's kind of made me learn from like their relationship issues and just kind of been like taking a step back and evaluate myself. But yeah, so I don't know if I recommend it. I mean, I recommend it if you have time to like, you know, just sit back and watch something. I haven't finished it. I think I'm like 2 or 3 episodes until the finale. But honestly, their relationships are a big mess right now. But like I said, I just watched it because my friends were like, hey, you should watch the show and just waste some time on it. So that's what I've been watching. And then lastly, before we get into today's topic, I mentioned the race that we were doing. The 5K got postponed, but I am doing like a little girls run retreat this Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Sugarland Memorial Park. So if you're in the Houston area and you would like to come and just run with me, please do so. Please send me a DM too, because I really kind of want to do like little goodie bags for you girls whoever show up. So I kind of need a head count. I don't want to make like 50 goodie bags and like only like 5 of you girls show up. So if you do plan on coming, please send me a DM. But even if you like change your mind last minute and would like to come on Saturday, please do so. It's, like I said, Sugarland Memorial Park at 10 a.m. this Saturday. So it's the 30th. So yeah, I just wanted to give a quick announcement on that. And we can get into today's topic. So today's topic is developing a winning mindset. And today as our guest, we have my hubby, Chris.
Sup.
So he actually was the one that was like, we should talk about this. And I was like, okay, I mean, we've talked about, like recently I just talked about manifestation. And so I was like, do you think it'll like crash with that? He's like, no. He actually did like a story, poll thing on his Instagram, and he was like, a lot of the questions that I got were like, what have we done to be where we're at, what kind of mindset do you have to be a winner, kind of stuff, and how you can be successful. So he's like, I think it would be really good for us to have that topic together. And I was like, okay, all right, let's I'm more than happy to do that, because I know like everyone wants to, unless you're not the type that likes to listen to motivational stuff, everybody, enjoys the motivational talks here and there. So I guess we can start off by like, before, I mean, I didn't even say like, do you want to say an intro or anything?
No. I mean, we're like, I guess from the time this airs, it's going to be a week and 2 days from my first competition.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could tell on the camera, but pretty chiseled up. Yes, we're suffering, but it's gonna get done.
Yeah, his cardio got increased this week, so we've been waking up at 7 a.m. to go do cardio together. But
so me and Jasmine are both suffering together on the Stairmaster right now in the mornings, and then post workout we are on the treadmill.
Yeah, so the treadmill isn't bad. Dude, I could do treadmill all day, every day, because I'm so used to spin and now Stairmaster. But just wanted to give him a little intro. I think he came on like a few weeks back, and when you were 4 weeks away from your show.
Yeah.
But now we're like almost less than 2. It's insane. All right, so let's get into today's topic. Sorry, I just kind of like threw that in there. But so I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of background of like me personally, and like why, I don't know, like why I've always had this mindset. And even with therapy, I think, she's made it aware to me. She's like, I don't know how you got the mindset that you have, but I think it's incredible. And I don't know. I feel like at a young age, I always knew that I wanted more out of my life. I didn't necessarily know how I was going to get there or what I really wanted. And it wasn't like really like a lot of like materialistic things. Cause when you're younger, you don't really picture like a grand lifestyle. I mean, maybe some people do.
Shit, I did.
You did. Well, I wasn't like, I'm going to live in a mansion and own like this car. And like, I just didn't think that way, but I just knew that I wanted to have freedom. I wanted to have freedom of money. And so I wanted to just be like to a point where I was like, I don't have to think about every little penny that I spend. But and I think like now, and I was telling Chris this, and now that I have this lifestyle, like, and I've gotten to the level of success that we are, like, I know that this is where I'm meant to be, and I want to continue having this success, and I want to continue this lifestyle. Like we were talking about, basically on the show too, the girl was like, oh, I want to date someone who's financially free and can keep up with my lifestyle. And the way she said it was a little bitchy, but I told Chris that I was like, if you and I were single right now or we didn't work out or whatever, and I was in the dating world now, I'm sorry, but I would need a guy that could match me financially, because I don't want to give up my life, and I shouldn't have to give up my life. I'm not asking him to pay for my things. I'm not asking him to give me anything, but I'm asking him to match me, because I'm used to now a certain lifestyle, and I love that lifestyle, and I work hard for my lifestyle. So I think I've just always had that mindset. So it's important for me, if I was with anyone else, to have that mindset. But like I was saying, I feel like for me, it was like when I was like, I think 13, 14, that I was like, okay, like I want more out of my life than just living in a small town and then like having kids, and this is it for me. When was that for you?
I guess just to begin with everything, I think being successful or being an entrepreneur, it could be either a skill set or it could be a trait.
Yeah.
And for most people, it's going to turn out to be a skill, because it's something that you have to work on. It's not something that's given to you. And I mean, we'll talk about a little bit about like how you could improve those skills and develop them a little bit better. But I think for me, it was kind of a trait. Okay. I mean, I've always been in sports. My dad always put me in sports, and I myself always wanted to be the best.
Yeah.
So that was just like me searching, like being hungry to be good at everything that I did. And I mean, my dad also had a lot to do with it. He always pushed me to be the best, but I willingly always wanted to be the best. And then as far as like entrepreneur came, like I remember in middle school, my dad bought me a computer, or he bought the family a computer that was able to burn CDs. Mm-hmm. And I was like one of the only kids in school that was able to burn CDs. So I started taking orders from everyone in school, and I would flip CDs for like 10, $15.
Really? You
Like,
were telling this?
I just remember like right now, like these kids would write me lists of all the songs that they would want me to download off of LimeWire, which is, if anyone knows, like that's literally viruses for your computer. But I would download every song that they wanted and put it on their CD and sell it to them.
So cool.
So I mean, I was making money back then. My dad knew about it. He even encouraged it. Like he would go and buy me more blank CDs every time I needed it. So yeah, I kind of had like little side hustles, just starting like I was wanting to work for my own money and, you know, trying to be smart about how I could do things. So, I mean, just being great was always kind of instilled in me from a young age. Yeah. And wanting to be great is something that I've always strived for.
Yeah. Something I want to add in there, because now that I'm like thinking back about our life and stuff, and I want to make clear to everyone, is that like I'm thinking about when you and I were dating when we were 16, and you were always very driven, which is something I love because I was very hardworking and driven. And something that I learned from you was like, you know, I was instilled that you have to bust your fucking ass to get somewhere, where you were like, you don't have to, we don't live in the day and age where you have to bust your butt, you have to work smarter. And so I kind of learned that from you. But the thing that I wanted to say was like, you and I knew when we were dating that we wanted more out of our life. But I remember that you were like, I don't know, like, you know, I want to get married when I have financial freedom. I don't know what it is that I want, but I know I want more. And I feel like the same way. I feel like, you know, you and I both didn't know what we were going to do. You were never like, oh, I'm going to be a restaurant manager, or I'm going to be a doctor. Well, for a little while you wanted to be a dentist, but after that you were never like, oh, I'm going to do this. You just knew that you wanted to have more out of your life. And that's what I'm trying to say is like, sometimes you don't know exactly where your life is going to take you, but you just have to like kind of have that want to be successful. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like we never really had like a whole like path. Like a whole career path. Yeah.
I think that's true for most entrepreneurs. You know, you start out with one business, and it might not be what you're passionate about, but that one's going to open doors for the next one.
I agree.
And so on and so forth. And even what we're doing right now, I feel like, you know, it's not our end goal. Like I have a vision that we're going to do something much greater. Yeah. And this is just a momentary thing for now.
Yeah, I do too. We talk about it all the time. We have this feeling. I'm like, I know there's something great coming. I know it. I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to keep working because I know it's coming. But anyways, Chris and I wrote some notes that we wanted to cover for you guys. So I think the first topic that we wanted to talk about was the circle, the group of people who directly influence your energy and your decisions.
Yeah, so with that, Jasmine, means what do we mean by the circle? So you are allowed to have relationships, obviously. You know, people don't always have to be influential to you or provide something for you, but we are exclusively talking about the circle here. Yeah. And that circle is the people who influence your decisions or, you know, your energy, your vibes on a day-to-day basis or a weekly basis. These are the people who are going to have the greatest presence in your life. Yeah. So you want to make sure that that group of people is up to par to where you're wanting to go to in life. Yes. And I think a lot of people don't really pay much attention to that, because if you pay attention to people's circle, like most of those people are going to be complacent in the circle. Yeah. So if they're complacent, what are you learning? How are you growing? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like what you're saying is like, we all have friends, and it's okay to have friends that like, you know, are complacent in their life, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, and are comfortable. But it's also important to have like a circle of friends that influence you and like provide value to you. Like, what are they bringing? Like insight, whatever it is that you probably don't know about. So it's like, like I was telling him today that I listened to a YouTube video while I was doing cardio, and I already forgot the word that I used, Bobby. What was it?
Appraise.
Appraise. The guy was saying, make sure you look at your circle of friends and everything that you have going on and appraise it and see, are these things bringing value to your life? And I mean, we talked about it before. I hate to say that you have to use people, and it's not that. It's like, what are they bringing to your life? How are they bringing positivity or motivating you? But anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. So speaking about value, you know, we're in a day and age, and we talked about it a little bit before. You know, it's about life. Getting ahead in life is almost about networking. Your net worth is your network, whatever it is. But that doesn't hold true if you yourself don't have any value. Yeah. you have to be able to bring something to someone's circle. Otherwise, they're not going to fuck with you. Yeah. Like, to be honest, I'm kind of in a position now, or we are in a position now where, like, if you have nothing to contribute to my growth or to, you know, my emotional well-being, I'm not going to fuck with you. My time is worth more than that. I'm not going to invest in you.
I feel like you're very true to that.
And you have to be able to provide something. Yeah. And especially these people who are, you know, I have people in my DMs, hey, let's link up. Let's get a workout in. Like, I love to partner and work your stocks or whatever. And I look at their page and they have absolutely nothing. Like, you have to be able to show me that you have some sort of value. And then, you know, I'll fucking invite you into my circle.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you have to realize. Once you acquire a certain amount of value, people are going to want you in their circle.
Yeah.
You won't have to be asking to be part of circles.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess you could say, like, if people reach out to you and be like, hey, I would like to get a workout and I'm doing this new program and I think you would benefit from it. Then you find, then that person's bringing like a value to you. Then you're going to read that message and be like, you know what? I'm actually am interested in this person and what he has to say.
Yeah. And that's a very good point. Cause I posted, like you said, I posted that Q&A and one guy just literally just said, hey, let's link up. I like to work your stocks. And that's all he said.
Yeah.
And that did not catch my interest at all. Like, what experience do you have? How am I going to be working for you and how are you going to be working for me?
Right.
As opposed, this other guy named Jose reached out to me. He's like, hey, I have this business opportunity. You know, me, myself, I've been able to generate 6 figures doing what I do. I know that with your social presence, I could generate this much. Here's how I could work with you. And here's what you could expect out of me and what I would want from you. And I was like, oh shit, let's set something up. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've been very busy, so I haven't had a time to jump on a phone call with him, but he did get my interest and I gave him my number.
Yeah.
Like, that is showing me that he has value.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think it was like, I actually reached out to this girl. She has like 1 million followers on Instagram and I was a little scared to reach out to her because I wanted to bring her as a guest. But Chris is like, before you ask her to come, you need to tell her what you can provide for her too, because people want to know what value you're going to bring to them. And I completely agree with that. Just as much as like you're expecting someone to bring value into your circle, you need to know what value you provide, which I feel like you and I know what value you provide. And I know what value I provide. And I feel like you've always been, especially now more than ever, you value your time a lot and you are very picky as to like, okay, if this person's not going to bring me any value, I'm not going to let them in my circle. Whereas I've been a little bit more lenient on that. But just recently, something I told Chris, I was like, you know what? I think I need to like be harder on that because I need to bring people in my life, girls in my life who are going to provide value because I need, like, I have my friends, which is like 2 or 3, you know, but I feel like I need more women in my life who inspire me and are going to bring some sort of value to me.
Yeah, so this is strictly talking about the circle.
Yeah.
So like I said, you can still hang out with your high school buddies, you know, who drink every weekend, talk about old times, but they're just being complacent.
Yeah.
So you don't want that part of your circle because for one, you're not ever going to talk about what you're doing to progress.
Right.
And you also don't want any negativity like within your circle. I don't think anyone in our circle now talks about how shitty their life is or how much of a victim they are in their life. Like, that is not how our circle works at all. It is literally about if something does happen, you're going to learn and you're going to progress and you're going to keep growing. Yeah. And I think that holds true for everyone in our circle right now.
I agree. I think we can never have like a victim mentality person in our circle, especially me. Fuck no. But yeah, no, I think it holds true for the people that we have in our lives right now. But yeah, I'm trying to read more notes, but yeah. Okay. So value of your time, which is another thing. Like, people in your circle also know and appreciate your time, which I think a lot of our circle, like, they don't just bullshit us around. I feel like, you know, we have like our fun times, but when it's time to like, I think like right now with our group of friends, like, they understand that right now prep is a priority to you, so they don't waste your time. Does that make sense? Like, I think the value of your people in your circle understand the value of your time, and you also understand the value of their time, which you've help me see that too, because sometimes I'll get a little upset if someone doesn't call me back or whatever, and then I'm like, well, Chris will be like, well, you know, their time is valuable, and if they didn't pick up the phone to call you, it's because they're doing something that's important to them. So value of taking that in account, people's value of their time is really important. You already said no negativity, and then your winners win is the last thing.
Oh yeah, so winners win. I talked about it last time that I was on, I think.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So what I mean by winners win is watch what people who are winning at life are doing. They don't need to be part of your circle, but you could still learn from people without having to interact with them on a day-to-day basis. Like, see where they're putting their money, see what kind of businesses they have, what are they doing for self-help, for growth, like what, like anything they're doing, try to learn from, because I guarantee you they're doing something different than you. And just incorporating that one change is going to make you that much better.
Right.
Because if you're doing the same thing day to day, how is that making you better?
Right.
But if you're able to incorporate one thing that so-and-so is doing and then a different thing that this guy's doing, that's two things that you're already changed in your whole fucking daily schedule that are going to make you better.
Right.
And that for me, like, I kind of made the commitment this prep, you know, I was going to learn about several different topics, and I feel like I'm doing a pretty damn good job.
You're doing a very good job.
I'm watching a shit ton of fucking educational videos on YouTube while I'm doing in the treadmill. I'm reading books, which I've never fucking read a book willingly before. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm watching fucking the news, which I've never fucking done before. Like, there's a lot going on now, and, you know, I'm just trying to make those next steps to get to the next level.
Right. And I feel like, to add to that, what you said, like, for me too, like, I personally, like, yeah, I've never been the type to read. And even though some of the books that I'm reading aren't motivational, they like help me like mentally. And I've been actually, like, when I first read my first book, I would take literally an hour reading 1 and 2 chapters. And now I can read 10, 11 chapters in 1 hour.
Yeah.
Like, so my reading skills have gotten better. 2, like, what I do is, like, I look, like what Chris said, like, see what people that are winning are doing. I literally, when I spend time, I'm not going to say it's every single day, but I will spend time on my phone, on TikTok accounts, on Instagram accounts of girls who are winning, who have 1 million followers. Exactly. And I'm like, what are they doing? What kind of hashtags are they using? What kind of posts are they making? What time of the day are they posting? Like, you want to learn from the people that are doing better than you. So I take my time to experiment, to see, okay, what is this person doing and what can I learn from them? Because obviously they're doing something better than they're doing something they're doing something different than I am. Sorry. Exactly. So learning from that. And that's how those are the tools that I use personally for my like social media growth. But yeah, I think that's really well said with our circle. The next topic is success is going to come with a suck. And a lot of suck.
Yeah, a lot of suck. So success by no means is a linear line.
Yeah.
No. Sometimes it's a fucking circle. Sometimes it's a roller coaster. Sometimes it's back and forth.
Yeah.
But it is definitely not a straight line, or at least it hasn't been for us. And it's going to suck sometimes. You know, there's going to be moments where you're going to be knocked down to your knees and you just want to give up. And like, you literally think your life is going to fucking fail.
Yeah.
And I think I've had a couple of those moments, you know. There was a moment in time before we ever saw any success where I just thought my life was just going to be working in an office for the rest of my life. I sat in my car, you know, just frustrated out of my mind, and I didn't even feel like driving home just because I felt like a loser at that point in time.
Yeah.
But within that suck, you know, there's always learning lessons, and you always have to want to get up, and you want to have to keep going forward. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with successful people is they don't quit.
Yeah.
Because most businesses fail when you do quit. You don't get past that first bit of suck, which every business is going to encounter no matter what.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so to add to that, like, I think, you know, especially like before we moved to Houston, there was a lot of fucking sucky moments and like and a lot of uncertainty. And like, even now, like, to be honest, like, what was it, like 2-3 weeks ago, like, you're going to go through phases that you feel like the suck is more. And like 2-3 weeks ago, I literally was like, I was stressed out of my mind. I went outside of the gym and I was like, hey, I told my friends I was working out with, they went and did cardio, and Chris went upstairs and did cardio. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to go outside because I just need some space and I need some time. And I literally went outside, ran, and like just started like sobbing uncontrollably and started crying. And like, you know, just because sometimes everything, like, there's a lot of things that are uncertain, and especially with the success, you never know where your life's going to go. You picture things going one way and sometimes they don't end up going that way. Like for me, you post a video, you want it to go viral and it doesn't, like, and that's just like a small example. But you know, there's a lot of moments where we've gone through the suck. We've been like, why the hell is this happening? Or why isn't this taking off? But I appreciate that because I truly believe that like everything that happens to you is for a reason. Every you need to learn from every lesson that you are given, because like that's the only way that you're going to grow. And even today I told Chris, I was like, hey, this person's been in our life recently, like in the last month, and I think we can learn something. I asked myself today, which is weird, out of the blue, I was like, there's got to be a lesson here. Why is this person coming into our life right now? What can we learn from this person right now? And he was like, honestly, you make a good point. And I was like, we need to take that into consideration, because I truly believe that the universe gives you things when it's meant to happen. So, I mean, just with any success, there's going to be a lot of suck, a lot of downfalls, but you just have to keep going. As long as you don't quit, that's all that matters. There are going to be days where you're just like, why am I doing this? I don't know why I'm doing this. And I don't really want to give my effort in today. And that's normal. Sometimes your best that day is at 60%, but then you'll wake up the next day and you'll be like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to do better today. And then your best will be at 100%. You're going to have days like that. But the most important thing is to not give up and don't quit. Don't just throw up your arms and be like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. On to the next thing. Because you never know where that path could have led you. And it's going to take time. Nothing in life is, you're not guaranteed anything in a week, in a month, in a year. Like for some people it happens a lot faster than others, but you just have to keep working on it. And just honestly realize that success is going to come with suck. Hold on.
Sorry guys, I had a big ass fucking technical difficulty over here. The whole mic just fell down. So now I'm having to hold it in my hand and I'm all sweaty now, as you can see on camera. But yeah, success is going to suck. And this was an instance that, it sucked and you have to, overcome it and figure out the best solution. Yeah. And right now the best solution is me holding it in my hand. But within that, success is going to come with suck. And the most important thing is when these mistakes do happen, you have to learn from them.
Right.
Because if you don't learn from them and you keep repeating the same mistake over and over and over, you're going to fail. Like people don't learn. That's the biggest thing. I've seen so many people do the same shit over and over thinking they're going to get a different result. And that's never going to happen.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
So learn from your mistakes. That way you grow.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at my notes because I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's up to you to learn and don't repeat your mistakes, which like we've talked about. A lot of people make their same mistakes. And I still am learning and sometimes make the same mistakes, but it's like, the more you learn from them and the more it happens, like you take a step back and you're like, okay, I need to change this pattern and breaking that pattern. But yeah, I think success is going to come with suck. I still think that we're going to get a lot of suck in our life. Like it's just part of it.
More money, more problems.
Yeah, to be honest.
Like Diddy said. But yeah, when that suck does come, figure out a solution. Don't just put it to the side, because when you put it to the side, you become complacent.
Yeah.
That is not at all what we want.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it with success is going to come with suck. Next thing, the day you stop dreaming is the day you stop growing.
So what I meant by that is, the day you stop dreaming, which what I mean by dreaming is the day you stop setting goals is the day that you're going to stop growing.
Yeah.
Because if you have nothing to live for anymore, or there's nothing that you're chasing, then you're being complacent.
Yeah.
Your growth has stopped. You're going to do the same mundane things from day to day.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be on the same repetitive schedule. So you always want to keep dreaming, even if it's a small dream. If it's by next week, I want to do this. Or a much larger dream, like by next year, I am going to be here.
Yeah.
Whatever that dream is going to keep you growing as long as you're actually like pursuing it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think for a little while too, I was telling Chris, like with this, sometimes people accomplish their dreams or their goals and then they become a little bit complacent, which I've done this. I think at the end of last year, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, we got the house, we got the cars, we got all this stuff. And I started getting a little bit complacent and I was just like, without knowing it, I was like, you know what? I'm happy. I'm good. And then I just started getting unhappy and I was like, okay, what is happening? I feel like my drive isn't there anymore. I don't feel like Jasmine anymore. Like what is happening? And Chris is like, I think it's because you don't have any goals for yourself. You're becoming complacent, which is fine. I know that you appreciate and you're grateful for all you have, but you also need to set little goals for yourself because that's the Jasmine that you like to be. That's who you are. And you're just not doing that right now. And so that was like a little reality check for me because when you do become complacent, it's easy to fall back. It's easy to be like, you know what, I'm happy, so I don't really have to work as hard. And then financially, those numbers start coming down where you used to make like whatever, $5,000-$10,000 a month. That'll start kind of diminishing a little bit because the same work ethic isn't there. So that's the scary thing about complacency. It can actually, it'll hold you back, but it can actually make you take some steps backwards if you're not if you're not at least maintaining the same kind of like energy. Because if you start saying like, oh no, I'm good, I don't really have to work as hard, I'll be okay, that number can drop. So I for me, like, I just was like, okay, I need to start setting goals for myself, even if it's weekly, even if I don't have like this huge goal, I need to set small goals for myself. And that's what Chris means. Like, you need to set goals for yourself, even if it's weekly or monthly, or like he said, yearly, but having something to look forward to. And then, yeah, the hunger and desperation to be better, to want to be better.
Yeah, you have to have a fire within you to want to be successful, to be better. It's not something that's just going to happen just because you're doing XYZ.
Right.
You have to have a desperation to want to be better, because being desperate means you'll do whatever it takes. There's not a lot of people who are willing to suffer willingly to be successful.
Right. Yeah. But no, I agree. And like the same thing, it can be with anything, but even like the gym, like you have to, like with you, like you, for prep, it's like, it takes a whole other animal.
Oh, that's a good point. So, prep is very hard because it's not just the working out. Working out is the easy part. Everyone goes to the gym. It's the mental fortitude that has to come with dieting down, because dieting down, you're literally starving yourself. And that's not something that the human body does easily. Like, you're going to want to snack. You're going to want to eat things that aren't part of your plan, and your body's going to hurt. And that is true for success. There's not very many people who could do what it takes to be successful. So you have to be able to push those boundaries, be uncomfortable. You're going to suffer, but eventually when you do hit that stage day, you're going to see all your hard work pay off.
I agree. Yeah, it takes a whole different breed. And like you said, like, there's always going to be like outside noise. And like with prep, it's really hard too, because you're not only it's not just gym and food, like it's a lifestyle. You give up like going out, doing things with friends, doing things with your wife. Like, there's a lot of sacrifices that need to be made, but that's with anything that you do in life. Anything, if you want to be successful, there's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make.
Cut friends off. You're not going to be going out drinking every weekend.
Yeah.
All that time is dedicated to being better at whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah. No, I agree. And then not lastly, but the next one is mindset. So, having just the mindset to want to be better. So for me, like, especially now, like, you just have to have this mindset that you're going to be better. And the book that I'm reading a little bit, it's like, it defines the conscious and your subconscious mind, and how your subconscious mind is the one that you have to you have to listen to, because that's the mind that will allow you and let you believe in yourself and let you take your mind to where you want to be. Your conscious mind is the one that like lets fear in, and it's like, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. But it's all about the mindset, and the mindset that you have is how you manifest the life that you want. You have to believe in yourself that, hey, I'm capable of this, I'm capable of reaching this. Like, yeah, I'm suffering right now, but I believe that I'm capable of reaching this goal. It's all about like everything that you do, and successful people, it starts with their mindset.
It's just removing any limiting belief that you had previously, or that you have at that moment, and realizing that you're capable of doing a lot more than what you thought you were. Your body's capable of pushing boundaries you never thought were capable. Your mind is capable of learning things you never thought were capable. All you have to do is sit down and actually take the time to develop those skills. A lot of people don't even take the time to invest in themselves. That's the thing. They want to get to point B without having to do very little or no work.
Yeah, literally no work.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people like that who just want to get to point B, and then they're like, "Well, I don't know how you're there." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't know how I'm there?" Like, let's go all the way 7 years back, like, to see where I'm here. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, some people just don't want to do any work, and they expect all this in return, which we'll talk about this in the next one. But I just think you have to have the mindset. You have to like sit down with yourself and have those hard conversations and be like, I think you got to get to the point where you're like done. You're done like with the life that you have, and be like, fuck this. I deserve more. I want more. And my mindset changes today.
Yeah. So stop your complaining. A lot of people complain, but there's no action.
Yeah. And
stop making excuses, because your excuses aren't valid.
Yeah.
If you take a step back and you look at really the life that you live, the fact that you guys are listening to this means that you're probably ahead of most of the the fucking world. You're either listening to this on a smartphone or in your car or on your computer, which there's several people out in this world that don't have that. But your phone alone is enough to make you millions of dollars if you know how to use it correctly. So,
I know.
So there is no excuse that you can't be successful. You don't need fancy cameras. You don't need a fucking mentor. You don't need some leadership class. You don't need any of that. Everything is in your fucking hand that you need to be successful.
Yeah.
So stop your excuses. Stop your complaining. You could do something about getting to the next level exactly where you're at right now in life.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the phone is such a powerful thing, and people are like, well, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, do you realize do you have a phone? And they're like, yes. I'm like, you can look up anything on YouTube, anything on Google, like learn anything. That's the first thing I do besides asking Chris, because sometimes I'm like, hey, do you know how to do this? And he's like, no. All right, then I'll go on my phone. How can I do this? How do I do that? Your phone, like there's so much you can do with your phone. And like a lot of people, they set up their excuses like, oh, I don't know how to do this because I don't have this, I don't have that. You have a phone. You can do the research that you need in order to do whatever it is that you want to do. But just having that mindset, but we're going to talk about a little bit about like having a victim mindset. But yeah, just having that mindset, shutting out the outside noise too, because that's I think the noise that interferes with the mindset alone. Because if you do have outside noise, family, friends who are discouraging you, it can be a little bit discouraging. And if you don't have that strong mindset or a strong group of friends or that circle to help you stay in that mindset, it can be a little bit hard. So you just have to ignore the outside noise. Yeah,
you just have to be committed to your goal and, really believe in yourself. And that becomes a lot easier. When people start giving into that noise is when they don't believe that they're capable of doing what it is, what they're not capable, that they don't think they're capable of what they said they are capable of. Right.
Which for me right now that I'm thinking, like, as we're talking about this, like, do you remember when we first started training and then like we would go to your parents' house or my parents' house and they'd be like, you guys just need to stop working out all the time. Or like, you guys need to eat this. Like, it's not taking you anywhere. This gym life is not.
They still tell us that.
They still do. But now we don't care. It's like it goes through one ear and out the other, where back then it would make you feel a little guilty. And it would, like, for me, it would make me question like what I'm doing. And like I guess I'm the crazy one because I don't want to eat like enchiladas every day. And like, you know what I mean? Like that was just the first thing that came to my mind. But like you have to, and as you believe in yourself more, the outside noise will get smaller and smaller because it'll just, like I said, it'll go through one ear and out the other. It won't phase you at all. But in the beginning, it might phase you. So just be aware of that, but stick to your gut instinct and stick to your belief.
Yeah. And just to add to that, success is going to get lonely. Mm-hmm. I've been lucky enough to have you literally through all of my journey. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be the case for a lot of these people. Most of these people take it on their own. And you're going to be by yourself because no one else is going to believe in you. No one's going to want it as bad as you do. So you're going to have to do things on your own. Yeah,
but you'll meet people who will want the same thing as you. And especially eventually.
Once you get those values, once you get value within yourself, you'll be able to provide for other people. And you'll get people who are going to push you the same way. Yeah. But in the beginning, you're going to be an outsider.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just thinking about relationships and like girls who do want to get better. And I'm like, because we are lucky that we have each other. And I don't think we've ever been in a position where one of us was like, I don't want to grow anymore, thankfully. But there's a lot of people who are in relationships like that. So it's like what Chris said is so important, ladies. And it comes back to like confidence too, like knowing your value. And then when you do get in a relationship, be like, what value are you giving me as a man and in this relationship? And hopefully that person is someone who wants to grow and wants to get better. But there are people out there, like what Chris said, it'll be lonely for a little while.
Yeah, and finally, just keep working. Keep your head down because success is going to take a while. It's not something that happens in a week. It's not something that happens in a month. Yeah, for some people, TikTok makes them millions in a matter of a couple of months, but that's a rare occasion. Yeah. Like I know you guys see a lot on your social media, but if you put it in the grand scheme of things, like that select number amongst the world, that's still very fucking rare. Yeah. So more than likely, the case is going to be that you're going to have to work your ass off for a couple years to see any sort of return. Yeah. So keep your head down, keep working. As long as you know that you're making the steps to get better, you're going to be better.
Yeah. And to add to that, like, I think, especially with social media, we see the grand life at the end because that's what people post. But it's like another thing that we were talking about. People people praise you for the work you do in the dark. Like a lot of people don't realize that all the work that you've put in the time and so many years or X amount of time that you were off social media, and then you come back and then you're like, you know, you could be a millionaire or whatever. And it seems like, oh, wow, this person didn't have to work for it. But no one knows that person's story. And a lot of the thing, like for you, especially for you, I was thinking about you right now with prep. Like I've been getting onto him because I'm like, you don't post anything. You don't post your workouts. He's like, I just like to do the fucking work. And I'm the same way too. I feel like less pressure because I'm in the dark. I remember when I was in prep, I'm like I put my head down and I worked. I kept it myself in the dark. I didn't want people to know my moves. And then I came out of it and it was like, oh shit, she's lean as hell. And I feel like that's the same thing with you. Like, I think going back to that, like you see people's highs, but you don't know like everything they've gone through, the time they spent in the dark to get to where they're at.
Yeah.
But,
and just, I guess this kind of a segue, you know, I've heard many times that we've just been lucky. And the funny thing is the harder we work, the luckier we get.
Yeah.
So take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. All right. So lastly is being committed, disciplined, and following through with what you want.
Say that again.
Being committed, disciplined, and following through with what you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think the biggest issue, and I have gotten onto my friends about this, I've told multiple of them that they don't fucking finish. They say they're going to do something, but they don't finish. So as a man, I think one of the most valuable things that you have is your word, even as a woman.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to say something, commit to it, be disciplined, not motivated, because motivation is going to die.
Yeah.
You have to realize like right now I am not motivated at all to fucking go in the mornings on that fucking Stairmaster for 40 minutes. But it is my discipline because I want to get to that end goal. I have established these routines that are making me go there. It's not motivation, it's discipline. And then just fucking follow through. Like if you're gonna do it from A to Z. Don't stop it halfway in between. Just fucking finish.
Yeah.
That is the biggest fucking advice that I could give anyone, I think.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you, especially like as a man, but as a woman too, like following through with your word. Like, I mean, we've seen a lot of people recently who like haven't finished their prep. And to me as a woman, I would, especially who I am now, I'd be like, oh hell no! Yeah. Like if my man was like, unless he had health issues, like don't get me wrong, there's health issues.
Yeah, the thing is that the ones that we have come across, they just put some whack ass excuses like, oh, it didn't match up with my lifestyle. I need to be drinking. I go out and party because of Instagram. Yeah, but that's a sacrifice that you're gonna have to give in order to reach your goal. That's gonna be true for anything you want to have life. You're gonna have to sacrifice something.
Right. Yeah, no, so so just following through with your word, and just like Chris said, there's no motivation, okay? Motivation does not exist. You'll be motivated a little bit when you first get the workout outfits or whatever it is. You'll be motivated in the beginning, but it's a discipline that will carry you through. But yeah, like I think there's a lot of people who just complain and there's no action behind, you know, what they're doing. They complain that the world isn't giving them what they want, but the world doesn't fucking owe you shit. And I think that's like something big Chris and I talk about, because a lot of people still believe that somehow the world owes you. Like I think Chris and I go every day and we know that the world, we're not owed anything. No. We get what we work hard for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people I don't know if they just don't grasp the concept, or I don't know what it is.
It's just entitlement. You know, it comes from just their upbringing. You see it now a lot on social media. You know, people just slide into your DMs asking how they could get so-and-so from you, or how did you do this? Like they want an easy answer when there is no easy answer.
Yeah.
And once you give them the answer, because I've had it before, they're like, oh, what do you do for a living? And I give them a list of like 12 different things that we do. And they're like, okay, what do I invest in? I don't know, my guy. That's for you to figure out.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence, do your research. Like the fact that you're wanting me to tell you absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You're not going to be successful because you were wanting it too easy.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to fucking work. You have to want it.
I don't think we've ever asked anyone like that. Like
we don't.
We have never.
You know, it's okay to ask questions to
Yes.
figure things out, you know, figure out the process, but don't ever fucking look for a handout.
Yeah.
That is some weak shit.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think, first of all, I've never DM'd, but even with our friends and the group of friends that we've had, like, we've always learned and asked questions, but we've never been like, so did you do exactly this, like, ever? Like, we've just kind of figured, we're like, okay, we take what they've said, the insight that they've given us, and then we learn from that. We're like, okay, how can we incorporate it to this life? We'll do our little research, and then we get to where we want to be. But yeah, I don't know. I've just never... we've never been the type of people to expect a handout from anyone, and you shouldn't be the type of like, there are people out there, but the world doesn't fucking owe you shit, and people don't owe you shit. Like, don't expect people to help you do things. Like, at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own life. You're responsible for living for your own lifestyle. You can't expect other people to help you reach the lifestyle that you want. That's not the way the world works, unless, I mean, there's cases like, you know, like you get a sugar daddy, and obviously, but like, besides that, that's not, besides the point, you know, like you deserve what you work. Like, I feel like, how can I say this? Like, what I'm trying to say, like, what you get out of life is what you work for, basically. That's what I'm saying. And to end that, you know, like, you are what you accept in this world. Like, if you accept that you're not going to be successful, you're not going to be successful. Yeah. And if you know that you're capable of more, then your mindset will change and you'll reach the level of goals that you want to reach.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure like it was some famous philosopher. I don't know who the fuck said it, but it's like whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's literally up to you what you think you're capable of.
Yeah.
So if you tell yourself you can't do it, yeah, you're right. You're not going to be able to do it. But if I tell myself that I can, I'm going to figure out how the fuck to do it because that's the kind of mentality I have.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's all the notes for today. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I think something came to mind, but now it's completely lost. So I think I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to like.
Disclaimer. Okay. By no means are we like fucking successful.
Yeah.
Like,
we should have said
we're not. Trust me, we're not. But we're well off, and this is what we have done to get us to this point.
Yeah.
And I think this is also what's going to help us get to the next level. And once we get to that next level, you know, there's going to be lessons learned. There's going to be new things that we can teach you guys. But as of right now, this is what we know. This is what has worked. Yeah. And this is what we will continue to do until something tells us different.
Yeah, this is what we learned. I'm glad you said that because I was just kind of expecting people to know that. But yeah, guys, by all means, this does not mean like, oh, wow, they're high on their horse and they think there's no.
But I had people ask, you know, how did we get to where we are?
Yeah.
And this is
how we got to where we are. Yeah. Okay.
By no means am I saying this is the secret to being a millionaire because shit, we're not millionaires.
Yeah. So I'm glad he said that disclaimer, girls. I don't want you to think that, you know, we are very well off and I'm so grateful for that. But these are the lessons that we've used along the way and that we're continuously using every single day to get us to that next level and to be more successful. And then hopefully then I can even share whatever I learned from this point to like next year. You know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of lessons learned from here to then. But yeah, this is just the stuff that we've, you know, learned along the way. And I thought it was important, especially because, you know, so many guys especially asked Chris this on his Instagram story. And I know a lot of you girls are still interested in this, which like Chris said, I applaud you ladies because you guys are out here trying to learn and trying to be better, which is such an incredible thing. And it's one of the things I love about myself. So that should be a characteristic that you love about yourself.
Yeah, I don't think being successful is a trait that just men should have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, women, if you feel like you're fucking being held down by your man, probably leave him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's amazing when a woman wants to better herself and wants to do better and wants to learn. And I don't know, I just think like that's one of the things that I love about myself is the fact that I'm always wanting to grow and better myself and learn and ask questions because there's so much to learn out there, guys. There's always so much to learn and realizing that you don't know it all. There's always something that you can learn from someone else. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to you know, talk about this. It kind of we talked a little bit about being successful in the last time together, but just kind of like refresh everyone's mindset on it. But that's it. Yeah. Is there anything else?
Nope.
That's it. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to DM me if you are interested in running the race. I promise you guys, don't be scared. It's not going to be like a fucking full-on sprint. Like, we'll just jog it together because I have not ran in like 3 weeks.
It's going to be chit-chat time.
Yeah, but it'll be a good time. So if you are interested, you don't have to, no pressure. Please DM me. I'd love to have you and just, you know, get to know each other. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.